Right, you've got Newcastle, you've got Watson, it really is going to be tough to move through. Plus you've got the smokes as well to deny anyone running up on you without you having a little bit of knowledge yourself. Dark Zero though, you can see they try to rotate quickly, but that's the difficulty with this lobby right Dan. You have so many teams who are great at calling zones and getting there as quickly as possible. Traffic is going to be busy. If you don't get your timings right on your rotate, there is going to be someone ahead of you and you're going to have to go to plan B.
Dark Zero just scraped through though, avoiding the shots from several different teams of FC Destroy and Ascend. You're completely right. We saw some very placement-heavy teams who I would argue that winners bracket can be one of the hardest places to find yourself.
Well, we got FaZe versus NRG, no messing about here, and I tell you what, Frex has got a cheeky little poke through. 132 with that Prowler is certainly going to make things a little bit spicy. Phony has fallen, and now Frex, after doing the damage, is left on his own. Frex trying to save the day here for FaZe, maybe looking for the thirst, does get one onto Guild, but can he survive it? Can he escape, or is this just a case of FaZe thinking, maybe we need to just get these KP and get out of here?
Yeah, you've just got to make sure you do what you can. Prowler will do the job.
Even though you know that fight has just taken place, you're like, okay, cool. But at the same time, it's like, do we give our spot? We know there's other teams in the area. Are we about to start a crazy kind of snowball of teams just thirding? Well, one team is just falling into this fight. It's going to be Oxygen Esports trying to take out the rest of FaZe. FaZe versus NRG left
over towards Trials and Skyhook, and they saw where the circle was going. They knew they were going to be pipped to the bomb, so instead they are taking their time, they are looting up, and they're going to try and find any information a little bit later. The reason is going to be waiting in Overlook. You can see there on your overhead, they might be having a little scrap with Pioneers if they get a whiff of it. They've got the crypto drone in the air, so they'll certainly have eyes on Pioneers here. But what a day it was for Realized. All the points though that they found, it was on Storm Point for Realized. All the victories they had. World's Edge, they really struggled, and if they are going to succeed in this lobby, you have to be consistent across both maps. You cannot afford to have a weak map, because other teams in this lobby have had just such incredible consistency across both.
TSM on your screens right now because they're in a fight inside of Geyser, and Reps is going to start shredding away with the flatline and dropping eliminated. TSM come out on top of that. Great switch to find the action inside of Geyser. But here come the third party. LG Shivas, hear this fight going down. TSM have been able to reset. So this is going to be a straight 3v3 if LG choose to push this one.
Oh, Diesel taking so much damage there though, has to be a little bit careful. This is such a great hold from TSM. Force out the Dark Veil from LG Chivas, and it means that TSM will hold. In 2 minutes, of course, they have to move, but LG, like sharks in the water, wanted to try and pick something up, but TSM denied. A nice quick 3v3, a nice quick reset. You don't allow it to happen to you.
Have to see if LG are going to repush this. In the meantime, let's jump into a listening with TSM and see what their approach is.
Scanning, nothing on scan.
There's a bunch of digis,
Digi right here.
Yeah. I'm above Algs cell. We have to go back.
I have an evac.
We have to go back there. Spot it.
Out of the listening and into the action, because look at who is fighting. It's the team who impressed so many people yesterday. Alliance forcing their way into zone.
Yeah, not just with how many points they're able to dominate with, but of course it's been all about effect and how he's been performing on land, the amount of times he's been shredding through players. But right now it looks like Alliance are just going to hold the high ground here. It looked like they were going to try and push a fight onto Oxygen, but they know in an exposed area like this, you are very
going to be going. They are safe for the next zone, but they also have info on where they have to try and push up to after that zone starts to close. So Alliance, and they don't have to do too much for now, but as we know, opening damage can change things into maybe potential disaster for FC Destroy, who got there nice and early, as you mentioned. Oxygen also in a good spot. This is what we were thinking it was going to pull towards, the kind of mountain and choke, and having the Watson ready to set up though. They're in prime position. It's going to be so difficult for teams to try and push up on this, but of course you've got to watch several angles here. Not only are you defending from the southern side, the choke you were initially holding, you can get pushed from both east, west and north. Like every angle is something you've got to be watching at, but look at how much space they've been able to take. You think he is working your way through the chokes from the south, right? FC Destroy holding this one down and looking to their north, but TSM have got to force their way up a hill. They've got to go through Moist Esports by the looks of things. LG kind of holding them out the other side. The tunnel, which was the initial plaf decision to have to be made at the moment. You can see, from the point of view of Moist, this is where they're going to have to try and force their way through, unless they want to try and evac tower over the top, but that comes with its own risk, right? Alliance now on our screens. Restart this fight with Oxygen. Effect goes in with the black hole. Has he managed to create any space for his squad?
Bango goes down as well, as Effect keeps hitting with the 30-30, but has to now try and help the team with the rest of the players. Prowler comes out, will go down, but it's going to be a 2 versus 2.
Done his job though, the Effect effect has been felt here by Oxygen. He gets one, he does damage to another as well, but are they going to be able to get him back up? Can Hackers and Yuki capitalize on this damage? With so many bodies inside of this area, Dan, it's so difficult to make any decision, but it looks like with the Dark Veil, Oxygen is going to be able to get back to a 3.
Oxygen get back, plenty of action happening elsewhere. Exet get eliminated on the northern side. Ascender trying to push in that as well as Fnatic, but Oxygen just seeing if they can maybe push up on this after getting back to a full 3.
Elsewhere, inside a fragment at the moment, everyone is falling. They did get effect back up. Naked eliminated in the meantime. There's a Kraber on the field in the care package too, as Pulverex try and force their way in, but here comes Ascend, but my goodness, those are some pretty good shots coming out to make this look a little bit more awkward, but Ascend win the fight, and now can Ascend walk up and find a spot to play?
No, because Fnatic are there to pick up the pieces, as you would expect. A third party is going to come along, and Fnatic should be able to clean this. Ascend had to try and push, they had to try and take some northern space, but they now will get denied.
As Fnatic now make their approach, moving up from the north to the south, or should I say towards the south, a tough thing to do for them, but here comes the push we've been waiting for. TSM have to force the fight onto Moist. There's no other option for them here.
The LG Chivas are there as well, so they're trying to force it here. Ascend do get eliminated as confirmation there, but now here comes TSM. Black Hole goes down.
Black Hole goes down, Verhulst is having to bat. And you're going to see the peek through that Dark Veil from Moist. Nobody really getting initial damage, and now the zone is a problem for TSM.
They go one way here, unless they have another evac tower, but even that would be far too much of a risk.
And Moist back off smartly as well. Pioneer's eliminated in the meantime as Dark Zero win that fight, but TSM are going to walk up. TSM have used all their utility, all the ultimates. The Q didn't hit from Seer as well. So now it's just about brawling. It's about straight gunfire. Oxygen Esports, they'll be eliminated as well, and TSM have managed to force Moist back here and just about on the precipice of being safe.
Dark Zero go down. 6 of the 8 teams are still outside of the circle at the moment, all trying to force their way in. Several downs here for TSM to try and finish. Whilst you're taking this damage, you've got to be thinking about what position you're going to take, as Realize will fall. Moist also go down. TSM, they forced up, and they're still going.
Dark Zero's going to be taken down as well, but how? And somehow, some way, TSM have marched through that choke as the damage was done to Moist, as everyone was forced in.
Thieves are dead center, bang in the middle, at the crates they took quite some time ago. The problem for 100 Thieves is all the angles they can be seen from right now. You can see them dancing from crate to crate, finding anything to get behind.
But the one thing that's going to stop people from poking you, from prodding, from trying to take that spot away, is a crate.
100 Thieves, so they've just got to try and keep their eyes peeled, decide where they're going to focus, and just make sure they're listening to those gunshots. Can they help? Can they third party to try and get rid of a couple of teams? As now squads are starting to make their move. TSM will try and delete out of the sky as Fnatic lose one.
Fnatic won a game yesterday by taking to the skies, but this time the lobby is wise to it. They will be eliminated. The Dark Veil goes out from TSM. They're trying to cut the zone in half. LG are behind them though, trying to mirror, Effect, and Alliance trying to move up themselves as LG make the approach from the north.
Alliance and TSM, two of our biggest hitters in the tournament so far. Last time they faced each other in groups, it was TSM who had more points than Alliance, but very rarely do we get to see giants like this go toe-to-toe in a final circle, but we still have LG Chivas and 100 Thieves trying to threaten a victory here. Things slow down ever so slightly because every squad has found a little bit of space to play here.
Everybody is safe. Everyone's found somewhere to play. Nobody's taken damage, only Fnatic fell on that rotate. As 100 Thieves and TSM rub shoulders with each other.
Oh, they got
Thieves finally gonna get silenced, gonna get focused as TSM try and make the play to take the gods back.
Backbone's gone down, Effect has got the opener, and now TSM will march on in and say, we can take this spot, we can take this position, and they've done so well, but they have to stay healthy. Howl goes down, and 100 Thieves get eliminated.
Black Hole's gonna be dragging Rex in as well. TSM trying to survive, they will be eliminated. We're down to our final 2 teams. It's LG versus Alliance as LG march forward.
Alliance did get the swaps though, and now we're going to see Caustic Barrels go down. Is there going to be a Nox grenade? That's the biggest question.
Shots being exchanged, shots being fired. First knock does go to Alliance though. Couple of kills going to be traded out though. It's one player alive for Alliance. Neazul taken to the skies to try and delay things here. He'll come down and LG will win the first game in the winner's bracket here. Beautiful stuff as they time the push perfectly.
LG Chivas, who had an incredible start to this tournament, and I always thought of them as a Storm Point team, but this is what I was saying earlier. You have to be good across both maps. You need to have the confidence to be getting victories across both as well. But LG Chivas, they took full advantage of some aggression from some of the other squads and picked their time perfectly. And it still could have gone wrong in that final 3v3, but they were all watching the right targets. They were making sure you could see the
First game. This is the final circle. This is what went down, and it's going to be from the point of LG, the point of view, I should say. And it was fascinating to see then, as the zone closed, all 5 teams just for a second found somewhere to play. It was TSM who kind of forced the fight to get the action rolling.
And you can see how important it was that LG Chivas did take this southern side, because they have that slight height advantage, they have that lip that they can head glitch from as well. And when all the Dark Veils went down, actually LG Chivas just had so much cover, and the silences that were coming through was able to give them so much information about where those players were. And it was just about them watching your kill feed, and oh, look at that angle as well, right through the grates, being able to be a nuisance. That's what you've got to do when you are trying to win a game and there's 4 squads remaining, is you have to add damage but not take any. They came into this final fight fully healed, they had no damage taken whatsoever, and they knew Alliance would have at least had a little bit of damage done to them.
So well played by LG. You can see they were the ones who had to move latest. Everyone else was too close to each other to avoid that confrontation. But in these final moments, you were kind of looking around and you were like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? Is Jaguares went down, but you can see Nizel and Yanya exchange those kills almost immediately. Was then left the 2v1 situation for them to close out. And LG with how kind of...
Sing the silence between you and me now.